Welcome back to Steve Robb Reviews. Well, today's review is going to be all about what is the best bench vise you could use for your shop and as a do-it-yourselfer, not a professional, as a do-it-yourselfer. And well, this is all starting off from last week's video when this happened. So let's just take a look here and you can see how easy it is this to crush. And when it gets down to the end, well, you can definitely tell that it's going to be crushed right in there nice. So let's just go a little bit further here. Okay, now I wasn't really cranking on it that hard and that vise just snapped. But you know what? I had that vise for so many years and well, I got a new one. There it is right there. And it's a it's not a fixed base, it's an adjustable base. And that's going to work out great for me because I think the adjustable base is far superior than a fixed based vise because, well, frankly, many times, you know, I wish I could move the vise head itself in a particular angle, you know, for the needs that I have when I'm trying to do something. So, yeah, my years of the fixed vise, well, they're over. And I'm going to show you the one here that busted up pretty good. And I'm going to explain to you why I think there's three things to consider when you're thinking about getting a bench vise. The size. For me as a do-it-yourselfer, I don't need any more. 5, 6 inch, that's it. You know, that's all you really need. Who needs a vise that's, you know, like an 8 or a 10 inch and, it, you know, it weighs more than your, you know, your countertop. So, yeah, and this particular bench that I have here, the whole top is made from one end to the other with just 2x4s stacked beside each other, glued and screwed together. So it is quite heavy. But how much do you want to spend for a bench vise? Today, the average bench vise, you know, a swivel one, $100, right? And a fixed one, well, maybe you can get them on sale as low as $50. And the one that I had here, I'm going to tell you an interesting story about it. I bought that one from Princess Auto many years ago. So I just thought I'd phone up the store and I'd ask them, well, what's the warranty on this? And he said, well, did you break it? He goes, yeah. He says, bring it back and I'll give you another one. So I said, yeah, I've had this a long time though. Well, have you had it more than a year? And I says, yeah, like way over a year, like way out there, right? So he just laughed. And he said, okay, well, you're pretty honest. How about if I just give you one for half price? You pick one out, I'll give it to you for half price. I don't care which one it is. So I thought, well, that's pretty decent. But I said, I tell you what, pal, I've used and abused that vise like so much that don't worry about it. I'm just going to go and get myself another vise. And you know, I'll go from there because I found this one on sale for about half price. And it's got the swivel base and everything else. And I would have paid a lot more, even for half price, if I'd gone to Princess Auto. So I thought that's pretty good for Princess Auto for actually standing up, you know, behind their products. And that's the main thing. You got to stand up behind your product. So if you're buying something, remember, like this little cheapy vise I'm going to show you here in a second, well, it's guaranteed for a year. After that, you know, they'll give you a deal, you know, depending, you know, whether, you know, they'll take a look at it, I guess, and whatever. But I thought it was pretty decent for them to offer me, you know, 50% off if I buy another vise. So, I mean, I don't think they were talking about me buying a $400 or $500 vise for half price. I think they're talking about this little cheapie here. So let's go take a look at the vise. And remember, when you're buying a vise, there's three things. There's the cost. And for a do-it-yourselfer, I'm not spending $100 on a vise anytime. More than $100, there's no way. There's absolutely no angle. It's not really worth it for my time for a do-it-yourselfer. 5 inch is just fine. And the store that you're going to buy it from have to stand behind their product. Now, the one over here from Princess Auto, well, a year, right? Which is fair. I mean, I've more than abused this vise. I mean, I could have told them that I got it, you know, 6 months ago. They would give me a new one. That's not the point. You be honest, right? This one here, guess what? Lifetime guarantee. So when you're thinking about buying a vise, well, right there, lifetime guarantee. Let's go over, let's take a look at the vise and see the old one that was all smashed up, and then I'll take this one out of the box after and I'm going to mount it. So let's take a look right now. Well, let's take a look at the one that busted up first. man, you can see that casting there. It just snapped like real good. You could see it's all snapped in here. But you know, I've pounded on that and everything else. And you know, this was only a fixed vise with just 2 fasteners holding it in there, some leg screws. But this is what I was tightening up. And for you that have ever used these, this is for a 1/16, just aluminum ferrule for wire rope. And these are so easily crushed. I mean, come on. But it just snapped. So this is the one that I bought. And if you take a look right down there, lifetime warranty. So you know what? I'll save that box. I saved the receipt. And I'll put it up in the rafters like the rest of my stuff. I save all the boxes. And so let's put it together. Let's mount it. Well, I'm thinking I can mount it right here, but it's got 4 legs on this one. I think it's 4 legs. Maybe it's 3. I'm looking at the box here. It's got 1, 2, 3. Maybe there's 4. I'm not too sure. Let's take it out of the box. Let's take a look and see where we're going to mount it. Okay, I'll show you the setup here before I tighten everything down. So the way they've designed these is you can buy it as a fixed base like this, or they'll give you this right here attached, and that is your adjustable base. So what I did is I took some copper anti-seize and I put it all around the inside of this ring. This ring goes over top of here, and then I mount it right in here. So that's a lot easier than actually trying to work around the vise. Plus, I think it's a good idea to put the anti-seize in there. And to me, this vise here seems to be pretty much almost a carbon copy of the Princess Auto vise. Because here's the Princess Auto vise. And if we take a look at this one here, it's pretty close to the same casting. So let's get to tightening this down right here. Okay, so the only hole that I'm reusing is this one right here. And all I did was just mark where the base is with a marker. And I just put like a maybe a 1/8 pilot hole for the leg screws. So let's just put them in here. That's it. I'll put the vise on top and then I'll screw these in. Well, it's all installed, and as you can see, yeah, I think it's a good idea to actually put some anti-seize in there, because this goes nice. Now you could see how I got all kinds of access, so if I want to have a long pipe going this way or anything I want to do, you know, I can move this vise to suit my needs. And I mean, that's clamped down there pretty good. I only put the clamp on the one side. So I mean, I think it's a pretty good vise. And I mean, the opening of the vise, yeah, I mean, you got to have at least 4 inches. This has got over 4 inches. And what am I going to put in here that's going to be more than 4 inches in the first place? So I mean, I think that's pretty slick. And they do give you a little bit of a base here to do some pounding on. And I think it's a terrific vise. And it's guaranteed for life. And if you take a look here, yeah, they got their own little tag on like Princess Auto had, and it's got a serial number, the whole bit. So yeah, I just take this back to Canadian Tire if I break it, and just get a new one. Well, thanks for joining me here today, and that's my review on what is the best vise to buy, because you know, when it comes down to it, it comes down to the retailer that you bought it from, what kind of warranty you have, compared to how much do you want to spend. Because I looked at some vices, and you could get like a $600 vise. It's not cast steel, not cast iron, it's cast steel. All kinds of various options where you could, you know, insert pipe, and it's got jaws. And well, for the regular do-it-yourselfer like me, this is going to last me a long time, hopefully the rest of my life. And but you know, many times, yeah, I'm abusing the vise by pounding on it in ways that maybe you shouldn't, and clamping on it, you know, in ways that maybe you shouldn't either. But I would say if you got yourself a good heavy base, like that workbench of mine's got to weigh 250 pounds. So, you know, if you're going to put a big vise on, you better have a big heavy workbench too. So thanks for joining me here today, and see the differences between the type of vices that, you know, you see other people on YouTube, what they buy. And for me, for just a do-it-yourselfer and all the stuff that I do around my shop and I show you every week, well, this is all I need right here. So come back again. If you haven't seen this channel before, you're welcome to subscribe. See some interesting things that I do with some interesting products that I review myself, I buy myself, and you're going to see me use this in the future. And hopefully it's just not going to go snap like the last one. Cheers.